Hey there, Trailblazers. Welcome to another episode of our series, Trailblazing Women, Exceptional Stories of Female Leaders. I'm your host, Shani Sanders, and I'm so excited to bring you episode number 2 of this series. We have truly a visionary who is shaping the way and the path in women's health and innovation in women's health. We have none other than Michele Wispelwey. She's the co-founder of Fingevity. Fingevity is a health platform that is specialized for women 40 and over who are experiencing either premenopause or menopausal symptoms. And now I'm excited about this episode because I feel like this is a conversation that a lot of us don't have. And when we talk about menopause, we think about the ending of something versus the beginning of something new. And I love the way Fingevity is reshaping this conversation around menopause. And it's all about precision medicine, and it's all about promoting longevity. It also, Fingevity is a digital platform that really caters your health experience to your needs. It's not just a one fit all type of service. It is a very specialized service dedicated to you and how you are experiencing menopause and what your journey should be on this menopausal journey. So I'm excited to introduce you to Michele, who has an amazing story. We get to talk about her passion and what helped her co-found this organization. We talk about the challenges of being women in a male-dominated industry when it comes to women's health. We talk about her charge of explaining and talking more about women's health and changing the landscape of women's health and innovation. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this new episode of Trailblazing Women, Exceptional Stories of Female Leaders with Michele Wispelwey right here on the Girl Take No podcast. Hi, Michele. Thank you so much for being with me today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? It's so nice meeting you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this interview because I spoke with your co-founder, and I'm always excited about Fingevity and what it's doing in this particular space when it comes to women's health, longevity, and stuff like that. And so this is going to be a really good interview.
Yes.
So before we jump into any questions, I always like to get the story behind the brand. So tell me the story behind what made you start Fingevity.
Yeah. So I actually have my own personal journey and professionally. So my background, I've come from a diagnostic background. What that mean? Everyone's like, probably like, what does that mean? Laboratory. So Quest, Labcorp. I work for a company, Enzo Biochem, another small lab that was just acquired by Labcorp a year ago. And I got into lab because I just always loved the science behind being able to diagnose patients and what entails, behind the curtains for the doctors. And everything is reliant on your laboratory tests and the data that comes from a human specimen, whether it's your urine, your paps, your, pathology from biopsies, everything. And I always really admired the female aspect of it and women's innovation and allowing women to have choices. Yes. However, speed ahead into our healthcare system became much less about innovation and education and bringing the best tests to patients for them to be diagnosed and treated by their doctors. And became really more about what will the payers approve for, and it's always the bare minimum. So I really struggled with that throughout my career and navigating the lab space and things like that. But that's really what brought me in. And I saw such a dearth and limitations on what physicians, particular women's health physicians, were able to use for their patients to treat them innovatively and holistically and really more on like a concierge level. And then if you combine that, also my mom had passed away when she was 51. She had cervical cancer, but she was really told for years that she was going through her changes and her spotting was due to menopause and fibroids. Wow. And she actually, and so between the combination of those two, it really helped me to birth and take charge of this entrepreneurial journey into Fingevity and creating a place for women to go to where they have empowerment to see their bodies from a full integrative approach, and just the way they go about their journey and treatment and preventing diseases for themselves.
You know, I spoke to a few people on this podcast regarding menopause, and this space is such a space I think what a lot of us need to talk about more. But I think the main thing that I think shocked me the most was when I was told that we're still so far behind when it comes to women's health and women's bodies, and how far behind we are in terms of like just how our bodies work and how these medical professionals still don't really know because they study men's bodies so much. And so I'm so excited to talk to women like you who are in this space, who are leading this space, who are really into menopause, because it's so funny how, you know, we start a life, we get our period, of course, that's like the beginning of womanhood. You know, and every woman is going to go through menopause, right? It's not something we get to skip. I don't think that is. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
Unless you're dead.
Right? I'm about to say that's not something you get to skip, but yet it's not something we all talk about. It's not something, I think when we talk about menopause, we all think that, okay, this is the end. That's the end of my life. I don't have nothing left. What am I going to do now? I'm in menopause. I'm old. When it's really not what that is. And so I'm excited about this episode and the other episodes I've done, because I want to continue to talk more about this, because I am in that premenopause stage. And so this subject is important to me, and what Fingevity offers is also really important to me as well. And so kind of tell me, so entrepreneur was not like the first, entrepreneur wasn't in your trajectory for your career, right? You was thinking that, hey, I'm gonna just stay in this particular arena and try to figure things out here. Or do you have in your mind somewhere that, you know what, maybe I do want to get into entrepreneurship and head down that journey one day?
Yeah. So I was big corporate. And I was driven to be at the top and be, you know, number one, and weed yourself through these big companies and the white male corporate world, and just feel empowered by that as a woman trying to make it through and dominate men and kind of write my own narrative. And as I navigated through the corporate world, I realized that what am I doing? You know, like I'm a part of the problem with the healthcare system, with women not getting what they want. And I have the smarts and the intelligence and the expertise to know what women are not getting from testing and what they need. And why am I sitting back here and not doing anything about it? And I think it also comes from experience too, and having confidence in yourself. And I think I needed, you know, I think life happens for you. You know, I needed my journey exactly the way it went, the way it was for me to get to this point, to know that I was fully capable of creating a company where we give integrative concierge menopause care and longevity for women, and to help them really understand like optimal health and respect themselves and empower themselves, and know that aging and this perimenopause stage is an upgrade. It's not a downgrade. This is one of the sexiest times of your life, and you should totally embrace it. I'm sorry, I got off track a little bit there, but
I'm sorry, my dog barked.
It's okay. I get that. I have two Goldens. Oh God. They're crazy. Maybe he wants to be on the show. Maybe he's disagreeing with what I'm saying.
Noises. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Where were we?
It's okay. Sorry. I know. I'm so sorry because he really just kind of like shocked me when he barked. Oh my goodness.
I jumped too.
That's okay. You know what? One thing, you said something that's really pivotal in terms of what happened to your mom, is that doctors didn't listen to her. And I just, you know, I ask this question all the time. What is it about doctors or physicians today that when we tell them something about our body as women, that makes them not want to believe what we say?
Because it's not written in their book, in their guidelines. It's not what ACOG said. It's not what the AMA said. It's not what NAM said. and they are very trained to follow the
Yeah.
guidelines and not think outside the box. And I'm not saying all doctors are like that, because a lot of doctors are not like that too, but
definitely.
it's just been part of our system. It's why there's barely any menopause specialists out there, because it's an elective in medical school. And I think that will change as we're, trailblazing this femtech era, but it's not a part of the ecosystem.
Yeah,
really.
you're right. You're so right. It's not really something that is discussed. And I was going to ask you that, do you think we'll get more doctors in this space? Because it's such a big space and it's such a big part of our lives as women. And that, a lot of us are scared to go through it, because we hear such, like, we think about our mothers back in the days that went through menopause, and my mother in particular, who went through menopause and had such a rough time. And I think things were not available to them that they are available to us today. And so they really kind of had to stick it out and go through it. My mom is 79. And so she had a really rough time at menopause. I mean, it was just the heat, the hot flashes, just her mood swings. And she didn't have no relief from it. She just kind of just went through it. And so that kind of thing, for me and my sisters looking at that, and we're just like, oh my God, I'm so scared to go through this.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it too, think about how many marriages and adultery actually goes on during those years of a perimenopause, menopause. Because, a woman's emotions are, if you don't replace what your body's been depleted for your hormones, it makes you array. You're totally out of whack, and it affects your personal, your professional, marriages, so many different types of like intimate relationships, because you're haywire. And like our moms didn't have any type of roadmap from their doctors on how to navigate it. And not only like when they were going through it, but most importantly, before they were going through menopause. A lot of people think, oh, well, I'm not in menopause, so it's fine. No, this is when you're in perimenopause. That's when you should be treating yourself. That's when you should be knowing what your optimal levels are and preventing and slowly doing incremental dosing, whether it's on your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone supplements, and know what your micronutrient levels are and things like that. And that is the best type of preventative treatment. And it's crazy because that's actually what's going to save the healthcare system money. Which is, it's crazy, that we don't even focus on it, and it's not paid for, and there's no CPT codes. But women are, end up having like a lot of heart disease from not being treated during menopause and later years in life. And they're going and having to get, a lot of cardiovascular help and procedures and things like that. And that just drains the U.S. healthcare system.
It does. Tell me about the journey of starting Fingevity, because you guys are champions in this space. Tell me the level of difficulty and maybe some high points in terms of like, when we started this, it was we were knocking down doors, we're kicking doors in, and no one wanted to believe us, but this is what we're going to do. So tell me about the journey.
Yeah. And that's a great question. Do you have a couple days? So it's still a journey. And it is hard as all heck. And it is a grind, but it's a really rewarding grind, because it's really cool to do something that, you're totally in line with your partner and the people that work with you and for you. And really it started and we learned a lot like on the way, and you have to make a ton of mistakes. But someone once told me, make sure you make mistakes, but make them fast and bounce back from them. And, the journey has been navigating through, not being technical founders, right? We're clinical, and we don't have IT background. So that's been a biggest part of us figuring out how to navigate, even learning how to like talk on Slack and understanding like customer IO and what we don't text each other. What are you talking about? And ClickUp. And that's been a challenge. And, there was a lot of legality before we can even go live and get a website for developing an MSOPC model. Because you have to have like when non-physicians own a physician business, you have to have this MSOPC. You have to keep everything separate, even from the financial side, with the way you have to like work with the bank accounts and with the different states from the patients are coming from. And also just like working virtually too, constantly always being virtually, and every meeting is Zoom, and you get lost, and it's very easy to forget that, wait, we need to get the team together. We need to figure out like how we all stay connected and they feel close to us too, and know what's going on day by day, and different decisions we're making, and make them feel like they're a part of it. Because it's like, you know, it's, you don't see anybody, you're just not next to them. You're just on Zoom and phone calls.
Yeah.
So that's really been a big journey. And I think, you know, one of the hardest things has been fundraising right now. We're in a seed round, and, you know, it's brutal. And I do all of the fundraising right now. And, you know, I've never done it. I never raised with VCs before. I never had to do a pitch deck. And, you know, I'm still trying to perfect the pitch to the VCs. And, you know, later today I have a call with this amazing advisor mentor that's hopefully going to help me work through it better. But it's just like every day, and you just have to learn how to pivot a lot. And have a really good bullshit detector. And because everyone is very quick to like become a vendor and say that they're going to, you know, increase your user and your subscribers by 3x, and, you know, then nothing happens. But there's a lot of expectations that you put on yourself and others. And you have to learn how to really just take it day by day, and also not take things so personally, and just make sure you're always giving 100% in everything you do. So you could put your head on the pillow that night.
Let me ask you this. Is it hard to convince VCs to invest in women's health, especially when it comes to menopause?
So that's interesting. Everybody, it's like the hottest girl at the dance. You know, oh, menopause, let me talk to you. The DTC environment has been tough because I think, you know, if you go back to 2021, it was when they were giving money. If you had a pitch deck and that's all you needed, and they gave you, you know, $15 million. So I think there was a lot of like DTC companies that were invested in when they shouldn't have been. So now they're very skeptical about which type of menopause company. If you're not automatically working with the payers, they take a few steps back. But, you know, but at the same hand, you're like, well, do you want to even work with those VCs if that's all they're interested in is like the payer system and big corporate? Because it totally defeats what we're trying to do. Yes, we are going to do employer solutions and go down that route. But, you know, fighting with the payers to pay for menopause benefits is not our number one priority right now, but it definitely will be. So I think it depends what type of VC it is, because we've developed some amazing relationships with VCs that get it and love the empowerment of a full integrative approach for women, and to be able to see the big picture to longevity, that like menopause is the gateway, but the longevity medicine aspect of it is really the long-term roadmap. So I think it really varies, to be honest.
For them to get excited and see that there's a lot of innovation in this space.
Yes. I think once you start talking about data collection, which we have a ton of that, and a lot of genomic and AI testing, precision medicine, those are the ones that get very excited. And we have had, you know, the biggest runway.
So speaking of precision medicine, I was just about to ask a question around that, because I know you guys are kind of like the forefront of that for longevity and menopause. Can you just explain to us what precision medicine is when it pertains to women's health?
Yeah, so precision medicine is going to be anything that's DNA, AI, really full genomic based assays. And really precision testing is going to give you like optimal health testing. So for example, gut microbiome testing, right? And your gut microbiome, it's going to break down and it's going to analyze different DNA strands in your gut microbiome. And it's going to also help you tie into, your estrogen levels and roadways like that.
Okay, that's good to know. So, do you see a lot of AI technology in this space as well? In terms, because I know AI is in every industry and it's taken over, right? In some industry, I think it needs to be there because some processes and procedures need to be a little bit better, when it comes to taking information. So, how is AI innovating in this space?
Yeah, so AI is doing a lot of automation with reports, and you're getting a lot of dynamic reports, a lot of genomic-based testing. It's just updating every time they get more data from more patients, and it just really just generates it automatically, depending how the coding is done on the back end. So it definitely is a really big aspect of it, especially in EMR as well, with just how it's collecting patients' information and the data, symptom analysis, predictive analytics, and things like that.
It's cool. That's what I'm like. AI is doing so much in all these spaces.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for the best that it
Super
only
cool.
gets better. Let's talk more about Fingevity itself. Let my listeners know exactly what type of what Fingevity is and what it offers to women who are going through menopause.
So Fingevity is a concierge telemedicine company for menopause management and feminine longevity medicine. So what that means is we are giving a personalized approach, custom tailored blueprint solutions for women. So no two women have the same treatment plan. The way we do this is we have 45-minute consultations, ongoing monthly check-ins, health coaches, diet, nutrition, but really what is the pillar to creating these custom treatment plans is sending women for comprehensive hormone assays, gut microbiome, allergy testing, and micronutrient testing. And from there, with your symptom analysis and your lab data, that's where we create a personalized treatment plan for you. Whether it's bioidenticals or nutraceuticals, supplements, maybe just exercise and different food nutrition, different types of, we have a lot of different treatment plans for hair loss and hair thinning for women that experience it during this time of their life. So that is who we are and what we do. And we bring concierge medicine down to the consumer level to make it affordable, kind of like, Uber brings chauffeurs to everybody. And we want women to have access to like holistic integrative care that is really only been accessible to like the creme de la creme of, you have $20,000 a month to spend on your concierge doctor.
Yeah, that's so true. I think it's so cool that you have this platform that really provides that personalized attention and personalized care, because when you think about menopause, there's so many people out there saying so many different things that you can get so lost in. They talk about hormone replacement and they're talking about, all this, I think I heard somebody, some estrogen type of thing they were talking about. I can't even remember exactly what it was, and then people said, oh no, just control it through your health and not health, but through eating healthy and exercising. And so I like the fact that if we come to Fingevity, that means they give us a tailored plan to our specific needs. So it could be, like I said, holistic. Some could be more, you need more medication type thing. And I think that's what makes Fingevity such a good platform to use, because it's tailored to you, not just what everyone else is saying that should be done.
Exactly. And, it's interesting, they'll say, oh, we'll eat a Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, I heard
you don't
that.
know what type of food is going, you don't know what type of food causes inflammation in your body. And until you have a food allergy test, you can't say that, you should be, let's fast, or, no carbs, or your body, no meat, or just fish, you don't know what your body needs. And, one of my best friends, she took one of the food allergy tests with us, and she eats, no gluten, but so everything's gluten-free, almond flour, almond milk, and she's allergic to almond flour. It causes inflammation.
Oh my God.
So, that's the thing is like, you should be having a different, maybe like chickpea flour, different things like that. So you don't know. And that's why a lot of women get the wrong plans, or they just get estrogen patches, or they're told to just, eat in moderation, and you could eat everything, and maybe not everything. Maybe you can't have milk, because that causes inflammation for you.
And that's the thing, is that being able to get something personalized and tailored to you is what really helps, because like you said, then you get to see what really works for your body, because I think about the hormone replacement, all the different things. And I'm a breast cancer survivor, so going on 3 years. And so thank you. And so I was just like, for me to deal with, I'm in a premenopause stage now, for me to deal with, I have to be careful on what things I do to my body, especially when it comes to estrogen, And so being able to talk to a doctor that can really understand my health history, right? And then make decisions based off that going forward on what would be the best thing for me to do with my in this premenopause stages. And so I think that's important to have. Very important to have. And that's why I'm like, I love Fingevity.
Thank you.
Listen, when I did an episode with your co-founder, I actually recommended it to a few people, like, hey, you really need to go on the platform. You really see, because all my friends,
thank you so much,
because that's where we are, and we don't talk about it. And I've been talking about it a lot since I've been having these shows, because I'm like, this is something that needs to be talked about. Menopause needs to be talked about. It's not the end of your life. It's not about your life is over. Okay, your life is actually beginning. You've become full bloom now.
So menopause has a lot of different racial disparities too. So, a Black woman versus an Asian or a white woman experience it very differently, and very different risks. And that's not talked about enough. And that's something that we like to focus on too, especially for with heart disease and risks for plaque buildup and things that.
Big on Black women.
Yes, huge. And a drop in estrogen is the number one cause for heart disease.
Exactly. And
why doesn't anyone talk about that? But so, one of our, we focus a lot on, our LDL, APOBs, our full cholesterol panels. So, because we understand the importance of that. And, you need to test women's levels too, because you run the risk of giving them too much estrogen, and it depletes their testosterone. So it's crazy. So we're very science backed, being clinical founders, and with my lab background, that's one of the first and foremost things that we do after the 45-minute consultation is the patient goes straight to the lab to get their labs before their follow-up and their treatment plan.
Exactly. Let me go back for a minute. I'm going to ask you this question from the beginning. Were you always into science? Were you that kid in school that loved science?
No. I love, it's so funny, because if we could go back to my high school years, I think a lot of people would have been totally shocked. The path that I went down, and
you weren't the girl that's most likely to succeed, were you, Michele?
No, I was definitely to succeed, but it was more not so much the science route, it was definitely, so, interesting enough is that I started off in Parsons School Design.
I had a friend that went there too. That is so interesting.
Yeah. Isn't that very interesting? Yep. Yeah. So I was actually supposed to go to Paris for a year to study abroad there. And my dad he really wanted me to go more towards a different route of business and everything. And I ended up transferring out of there and going to more of a different type of business school. So I had a very different projections. So, but it's funny where life takes you, right?
It is.
And it's crazy. And I think that if, there's a, very traumatic situation with my mom, but it's kind of the irony in it is what happened to her and where I am today and what I started today.
Yeah. So that kind of puts you in this. Yeah. But that's so funny to hear that you start off at Parsons. That's so funny.
I was drawing naked people,
God, you must be an artist.
I was in fashion marketing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And here I am with my MBA in healthcare management. You know, like
You never know where life can take you.
I still do have a mean shoe collection, though. I'll tell you that.
Sure. I am so sure. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Okay, so think about the technology in this space and how is Fingevity adapting to like the new technologies coming out in this space, emerging tech that's coming in this space as well.
So we're adapting as quickly as we can with the limited funding that we have from our angel investor as why we're in between this like seed round. So we would love to adapt faster and have more of a build out, but we really have to wait to the new year of 2024. So we have a great team of our tech team and our dev. They're pretty amazing, and they get us there and getting us automated as possible and collecting data and doing API integrations and things like that. So yeah, we're going as fast as we can. We want to go faster, and we will, but it's as fast as we can.
Do you see any new companies that are coming into this space that you guys are thinking about? Like, hey, we might not have that type of technology, but that might be something we can partner with that can probably put us in another, like take us to another level too. Are you seeing companies come in this space that you think about partnership with?
Yeah, so there's companies like existing companies that are in this industry that we actually envision that we would be great with collaborating with, and we've spoke to some people briefly, and I think it's as there's going to be a lot of different little menopause conglomerates that come in, and I think as like the main people that really are on the forefront, they will continue to grow, and maybe they will buy up their competitors, because really that's how you really just kind of create an oligopoly and things like that. And but there are some menopause companies that I think would be beneficial for us to even do affiliate collaboration with, especially that do a lot of like the prescriptions and RXs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's so clear that you guys have such a passion for women's health. How do you see Fingevity contributing, I guess, to the broader conversation around women's health? There's so many issues around that in terms of, we talked about one in terms of just doctors not believing what we say when we feel certain things in our body. Like, how do you guys see yourself contributing to the broader conversation in that and telling women to advocate for their health?
I think Femgevity has this interesting arm where we want to be able to have a community to help women feel empowered to make their own decisions, to really be the CEO of their own health, and to be confident and really trust in themselves on what they feel is right and what is not right. And we want women to be their own advocate. And whether if it's they have to educate their doctors and say that, look, this is what I saw, this is what I want, and if you're not going to do it for me, I will find another doctor who will. And that it's, you don't ever take no, and you don't ever be sorry for wanting more from your health or your doctor. You just say, you move on till you get what you want. And I think that is one of the, that's what I'm really excited for Fingevity and kind of creating this movement for women for their optimal health, to know that it's not just about treating your perimenopause and menopause years. It's about what you get out of the years after that. With your grandkids and going on vacations with your husband or your spouse or whomever it is, or your girlfriends, and sitting on the floor and watching a movie and not hurting to get up, and being able to exercise or, go to a cycling class at 70 or 75 and still enjoying life. And that's what we want women to see, that this is just the beginning. This is the entry point for the rest of their lives to continue on.
Because when I think about the word longevity, I think about how longevity, and this is just my mindset, longevity starts early, right? Like you're preparing yourself for longevity in your life, where it doesn't just start when you hit a certain age. I feel like it needs to start early. So educating yourself around your health as a woman, and educating young girls to know that this process is coming. And so therefore there's things that you
Yes.
can do to begin as young as you are to just make sure that you can have a healthy life as you head into these latter years. I feel like that needs to be discussed more with younger women, because we just think
Yeah.
that, oh, we get our menstruation and that's it. When it's like, no, you need to start preparing yourself and your body and your health and advocating for yourself so that you can have a better experience when you get to that perimenopause age.
Exactly. You know, they talk about getting your period and, you know, prevention on having babies too soon or anything like. In you know, in fifth grade, my daughter's in fifth grade, and they're having a sex ed class like at the end of the year. But well, why not do a preventative class on how not to die
Exactly.
early? You
How to
know,
have
so
longevity, how to live a long life.
you know, like how about that you're so they talk about all your, you know, your eggs you're born with and your period and ovulation, but why not talk about the estrogen and the hormones that and your progesterone that you're born with that create for, you know, strong bones and heart health and memory and cognitive and brain, you know, why not talk about that?
Exactly. And I feel like they don't talk about it because they feel like, because that's an old person problem. That's what they don't. That's why they don't talk about it. And you're like,
It's
well, you know, when you go through perimenopause, you're kind of early. You're still young when you're going through that stage, and not like 70. You know what I mean? By the
yeah.
time you hit 70, it's done and over with. By the, it's like maintaining life, but it's just that's how I think they look at it.
Well, it's been very, you know, like stigmatized and, you know, fearful
Yep.
and body image issues because you're
Yep.
old and you become unattractive and, you know, your body is not the same. And then you can't produce, you know, what's crazy is women are still having babies 40 to
Oh yeah.
42, which are perimenopausal
Yes.
years. You know, it is a new era and it is not the same. And it's just, the textbooks aren't updated, just like our healthcare system.
Yeah, and
Been.
women are looking better and stronger the older they get. Like I
Yes.
see women who are in
Yeah,
well
I
in their
mean,
60s.
yes.
I look at Angela Bassett who are well in their 60s. And
My
I'm like,
gosh,
some women
right?
are looking stronger and fitter than women who are way younger. So it's really
Yes.
shifted.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't look the same like it used to.
Yes. I think a lot of women, like if you look at like Kim
Oh
Cattrall, Angela
yes. Oh
Lee,
yes.
Holly Berry, Cindy Crawford. I mean, those women look hotter than they ever had before, and they were always gorgeous.
Always.
So.
You know, as an entrepreneur, you know, I talked a lot when I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, I always ask them about growth, right? Because every entrepreneur want to know how to grow their business, want how to get to the next level. And every entrepreneur tell me in order to grow, you need a team. And so my question for you is that when did you guys know that it was time to bring in a team for Fingevity to kind of help build this business? Did you have to have a team from the start? Or was it like just you and your partner, and you're like, okay, we're going to do this for now, and then we'll bring in a team? When was that? When did that point happen for you guys?
You know, I think it was very
Yeah.
early on. I think once we were live to see patients from a soft launch last February, we brought somebody in
Yeah.
right away that we knew. You're only as good as the people who back you, right? And you have to work efficiently and
Yeah.
effectively. And spreading yourself too thin and thinking that you could do everything, that is just setting yourself up for failure. And you know, they're not full-time people. Everyone's like part-time and 1099s. And, you know, when we raise, we will do full-time, but, it was pretty early on right away. And not because, you know, we didn't want to do things ourselves, but because there were so many different balls in the air to juggle, we brought on and I mean, right from the very beginning, we brought on, you know, a tech guy, our growth advisor, who's like, actually our growth advisor has been with us since day one and got us launched. He was like, we couldn't have moved forward without him. And another like dev guy that's out on the West Coast. And we needed a team right away, and they're still with us. And I pray that they're with us forever of this journey.
Yeah. Some entrepreneurs said, yes, the sooner you can get a team, the better, and then others like, hey, you hit a certain point where you realize that you don't have to do it all yourself, and that you stunt, like you said, you stunt yourself from growing when you don't realize that you can delegate certain things to other people and watch things grow and stuff like that. So I'm always interested to know when, entrepreneurs felt like it was time for them to get that team to see it grow and really get to that next level. So that's good to hear.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
You got something else you want to say? Go ahead, say it.
No.
What was the mindset? Because going into this space, knowing that you're doing something new, right? Something that is not covered by most insurances, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
No, it's not. The hormones get covered by insurances, but the bread and butter consultation, our service is not.
So knowing you're going into this space, what was the mindset behind what you feel like you had to do? Was it that, okay, we got to wrap our mind around the fact that we're going to be in for a fight, right? Because we're in a new space. We're doing something new. We got to get people behind it. We get people to understand that this is important and this is why we got to do it. So what was your mindset behind the business when you started?
So I was never in the mindset that it was going to be a fight and we need to just find, the thing is with Fingevity is that there was a problem. A lot of startups, they try to create a problem and then fit their solution in it. There was this huge problem where, there's by 2025, there's going to be 1.1 billion women worldwide in menopausal age. 31 million women alone, just in the US. And so there is a huge population. And we know, I knew from just dealing with my doctors and clients that they don't have solutions and training. And so we knew it's there. We know that women spend an average of $20,000 a year on menopausal symptoms and relief, whether it's creams and pills and hair serums and things like that. So it was more of how do we get it to market and how do we get it out there fast and how do we capture these women? So, and it was really more not a fight about getting them, but, how we're going to, this menopause train is moving fast and how we're going to get on it and still be at the forefront with the few of the other companies out there.
Yeah. That's good that you didn't have that mindset because, like I said, it was already such a need. So we're not trying to create a problem and fix it. We're like, there's already a really strong need for this.
Yeah.
And we're coming with this amazing solution. And so it's not like we're trying to tell them, everyone knows what the problem is. Basically, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I think our biggest Achilles heel right now is that we have this amazing solution, but it's just a matter of how much we're spending in our growth marketing to put it out there. And like you asked just a little bit ago was when did you realize you need help? Well, we actually need more help now. We need a bigger marketing team to expand to help us get out there and penetrate, but we just, that's why we're in a seed race.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's,
because a lot of
double-edged sword.
Because a lot of time I feel like as entrepreneurs, sometimes we think, if we build it, they will come, right? A lot of them think that way, that if we build this thing, they're just going to come. They don't understand that it takes marketing. It takes real marketing push behind it, just not just social media marketing, but so many different types of marketing avenues that it takes in order for us to really see the traction that you want to see.
Well, so you asked about AI and it's a very social and meta and everything like that and SEO and paid ads. It's a very complicated AI algorithm and you have to have really good people behind you who are constantly tracking it and marketing it and making sure the right leads come in. It's not just, it will come. And that's just not the way it works. It works. You have to put some elbow grease.
Let me
ask
you this because I interviewed a woman who owns a company for products for menopause and vaginal products, and she told me that they had issues in terms of marketing because of terminology that they couldn't use.
Oh, yes.
So do you guys deal with that same thing? Okay.
No, we do
Okay.
not. But I'm friends with some other founders that are in the like erotica
Yeah.
space or like vaginal
Yes.
products, and they have some amazing apps and amazing vaginal creams and things like that. And you could talk about erections,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and crooked penises, and there's even like game shows where you judge people on their private parts in the UK that's on HBO. But God forbid if you actually run a business so a woman can actually like not have a dry vagina and not have painful intercourse.
Oh my God.
Can't do that.
Oh my God. When she told me that, I was so shocked. And I was like, but I see things out there all the time about men's stuff. And she was like, yeah, so they can talk about that. But when we mention the word vagina, we mention the word anything, whatever it is, she said, when we mention that, we get like banned right away. We can't even mention those types of things.
Crazy. I love to, one of my favorite things to do is if you're in a room with a bunch of white men, just say the word vagina. It's like people get so, it is unbelievable.
Oh
and
my God.
But if you say erection, it's like nothing. It's like, can I have a glass of milk?
Oh my
goodness.
It is, right? People are so used to it. Like, God forbid when Janet Boob flashed during the halftime show. Oh my God, the world had a fit. She was banned.
Yeah, but no one talked about the young guy that actually ripped her
Nobody
shirt
talked
off, right?
about him.
But it was
just, oh my God, her breast was showing, and now the world is ending, and we must ban boobs on the internet. And it was like, oh, we have children, and it was the biggest uproar. The biggest uproar. Yeah. So yeah, I really wanted to know that because I'm like, I cannot believe this is really happening. But we see all these things, like I said, for men. I see commercials all the time for men to help them get erections all the time. All the time.
I know.
But yet you talk about a vagina, it's a problem. Wow.
Yes. It's like it's a dirty word. It's
oh my God.
Yeah, it's the word. That word is used a lot in my house. It's complete.
It's fine to use. I feel like it's a fine word to use, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. What are you most excited about with Fingevity?
I'm, every day there's something new I'm excited about. So that's a really hard question, but it's a really good question. I think I'm really excited over how in the next year things are going to transpire with being able to touch women's lives, and as we grow and get more data and just see how we're helping women and how we're helping them to live longer, and their lives have become better and more enjoyable, and they are able to have better relationships with their spouses or their partners and sleep better, and in the long run, 10 years down the road, that we prevented women from getting Alzheimer's or dementia or saving them from like cardiovascular disease. And I think it really excites me to help women see that they write the narrative to their health, that it's not what their mother had or their grandmother or their father had. Those genetics don't matter. It's only 10%. It's really the 90% of like how we're going to help you with your environment and how you're living now, and what you're doing with your body now to prevent you from going down like what the legacy of your family, of your health ailments are. And that gives me chills.
That. I like that you're not you don't have to live based off, because that's a lot of time we think, oh, it's hereditary. That's why it's happening. And you're like, no, that's only 10% of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be your story.
Yeah. So I've lived because I was 24, 25 when my mom passed. So I just lived a lot of my life in complete fear of like, did she have ovarian cancer and they didn't see it because her tumor was so big in her uterus? Did it, what else did she have or would have had that I don't know because she died so young? Or my dad had diabetes and he had a heart attack a few years ago. Like, what am I going to get? And then finally it snapped. And as, I went on the journey of creating Femgevity, where that doesn't matter because it's the way I'm living now. And though I'm not going to, those genes are not going to be expressed because I'm living my life differently, and just, paying attention to my health from all aspects.
Yeah. How do you balance it all? You know, you're a mom. It's like, it's one of the questions I ask most women when they come on the show, because you a wife, a mom, entrepreneur, and you know, you got to be the school bus driver at times.
Well, I say the word vagina a lot and the F word.
So you're doing pretty good.
And I throw my husband down the stairs. I don't know. No, just kidding.
Oh my God.
You know, I would be lying to you if I'm like, oh, I got it all together. It's good. Some days it's a disaster, and some days I checking off that, you know, that to-do list like it's no one's business. But I just literally, I take it day by day and don't get too stressed about what I have to do, and just trust that it's going to work out, and I'll figure it out.
That's exactly what I say. I mean,
that's not a very good answer, but it's the God's honest truth, and I'm not going to try to, you know.
It's an authentic answer, and it's the truth. Like, a lot of us are just here making it through the day. You know, we're just making it through and hoping that dinner could be on the table when these people come home. You know, what happens in between that, I don't even know. It's a blur. You know, some kind of way, everybody's fed, everybody is well taken care of.
You know, so what if my daughter ate a donut for dinner? So I don't know.
That's all that matters. She has something to eat.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. That is not longevity.
Oh my God. This has been such a good interview. I swear this has been so much fun. So listen, before we end the show, what is that you want people to know about Fingevity?
I want people to know that Fingevity is a place that they could feel vulnerable and confident and resilient, that you come to us and you do not have to think. We are going to think for you and tell you exactly what you need to do to alleviate your menopause symptoms, to prevent you from, whether you have a family history of diabetes or heart disease or dementia or Parkinson's. We're going to figure it out for you, and trust us. You will live a long, healthy life with us.
Yes. I like that. I really do. I like that. What do you see for the future for Fingevity? I see
us being collaborative with a lot of wellness partners. And what I mean by that is, I mean wellness centers. I see us being really the female version of, you know, what you would like to say of the Peter Attia and the Hubermans. And I feel us being a really the command center for women's longevity and optimal health.
Yes, I love it. I'm excited. This has been such a good conversation. It's been really fun. I'm always happy to learn more in this space and to talk about Fingevity, because I love Fingevity too. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being.
This has been wonderful.
Thank you for being in this space. Thank you for advocating for women's health. And thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. I can't wait. I can't wait for my listeners to actually have an opportunity to hear this episode and watch it on YouTube. So guys, listen, I am Shani Sanders. This is the Girl Take No Podcast, and I will talk to you next time.